Hey everyone, in this video we would make a simple paint application using TKinter. We would use many new methods and a lot would be from the canvas class, obviously as we are working with paint. Don't worry, it would be very easy. So to make this application we would use the colorchooser module, and just to make things more organized I would make main class that would be later called onto the screen. Let's get started. So from TKinter, import star, and separately from TKinter import color chooser and TTK. TTK you'll get the use of it later. Now the window declare plus its title. So we have win equals TK, and for the title I'll write win.title paint app. Then I'll call onto the main loop. So win.main loop. So I have the basic structure. Now the class main, where I would be defining the functionalities of the paint app. So let's get started. I'll get the class. I'll write class main and first the init function def init, for argument self and master. So this master is the window that would be passed on later to the main class. And then I'll write self.master equals master for initializing the window. Now I need to initialize a lot of variables to start doodling on screen, like the color of my pen, its width, maybe the screen background, the starting position of the pen, etc. So let's initialize the variables one by one. So first is self.color underscore foreground equals black. So the pen color becomes black. Initially, you can change it later. And then self dot color underscore background equals white. Cool. Then also the initial positions. So I'll have self dot old underscore x equals none. And similarly, self dot old underscore y equals none. Also the pen width, self dot pen width equals 5. I will call this draw widgets function that is yet to be defined, which would describe the layout and main functioning of my paint app. So I'll just write self dot draw widget and brackets. You'll just understand why I called this here later on when I define the draw widgets function. Now I'll write self.c.bind. Now here I have started using event handlers. The bind function called for the canvas C. C would be declared in the draw widgets function. Now the argument for this event handler bind would be b1 motion, which is the mouse being moved while the left mouse button is held down. And the function called the other argument of the bind function would be self.paint. This would be another function in the main class, and it would be used to draw the lines on the canvas. So I'll write self.c.bind b1 motion self.paint. Okay. Now similarly, I'll have another event for the button release. To specify the button release of left mouse button, I'll use button release 1 event, and for the function of this event, I will call the self reset. It is another function in the main class. I have to declare it. It will indicate the end of one curve drawn. Okay, so I'll write down self dot c dot bind and button release 1 self dot reset. Cool. Now I'll define the paint function. So I'll write def paint self comma e. So e would be the coordinates of the current mouse position. I would fetch that repeatedly in order to draw a curve, and if self dot old underscore x and self dot old underscore y is true, if it's available, then I'll create line. I'll use the canvas function create line, and I'll write self dot c dot create line, and as argument I'll give in the 4 points, the 4 coordinates. So self dot old x and self dot old y, and e dot x and e dot y, the current events, the current mouse positions, x and y coordinates. The width of my curve would be given by self.pen width, as I have defined it in the initial function, and fill equals self.color foreground, and cap style would be round. It's just the style of the curve, the line, and I can do smooth equals true. So we have already used create line in the previous videos, and so I hope you don't need any explanation for the arguments given. And I'll replace the value of old x with e dot x and self dot old underscore y equals e dot y. This would let me draw a continuous line, and then I'll have the reset function. Again, it's self and e, the current position of the cursor, and I'll have self dot old underscore x equals none, and self dot old underscore y equals none, because basically I have ended one curve, so that's what reset means. Now I'll start defining some options available, some functionalities available with the Paint app. Now the first one in the functions would be def changed width, and I'll give self comma width. So this would be used to change the width of the pen, width of the line, and I'll have self dot pen width equals width. Okay, and I have clear canvas, so I'll write def clear canvas self, and I'll use the delete function from canvas, self.c.delete, and argument would be all. That would just actually clear the canvas completely. I'll also have the functionalities of changing the foreground and the background of the screen. So first, for the foreground changing, I'll write def change underscore fg and self. So self dot color underscore fg equals color chooser dot ask color, color equals self dot color underscore fg and 1. So color chooser dot ask color returns a tuple that contains 2 values that represents the selected color. The one at the 0th index is the RGB value, and the second element of this tuple is the hexadecimal color value. And since ask color uses hexadecimal values, I have given the first element of this tuple as the argument. Okay, and similarly I can define for background color. I'll write def change underscore bg and self dot color underscore bg equals color chooser dot ask color, and color equals self color underscore pg, and in square brackets 1. Fine. Also I need to write self dot c pg in inverted commas equals self dot color underscore pg. Cool. Now it's the turn of draw widgets function. So this would be like the real layout of the frame of the entire canvas of the entire screen. So I'll write def draw widgets self, and now the screen should have the controls in one part and the canvas on the other. So we need to divide the space available. For that we use frames. So I'll write self dot controls equals frame self dot master. I hope you remember the master variable. It was the screen itself, the window, and I'll give some padding. I'll write pad x equals 5, pad y equals 5. Now on the left side, I would need the controls like the pen color, the background color. Let me put these in a menu. Also the clear canvas and exit option should be available there. Then to adjust the size of the pen, that is the width, I would use a slider. Let's get all this on the screen first. So starting with the label of the pen width controller, I'll write text pw equals label self.controls text equals pen width font equals Georgia 16. Now I got this on the frame and not the window itself. Please note that. And I'll put it in a grid. I'll write text pw.grid. Row equals 0, column equals 0. Then I'll have the slider. I'll write self.slider equals ttk.scale. This is where ttk is used. I'll have a different kind of slider. It would not show me the numbers on the scale. And so for the argument, I'll write self.controls, comma from equals 5 to 100 to equals 100. Command is self.change w. So just to recall what change w did, it changed the width of the pen. It assigned a new value to the pen width, and the orientation of the scale of the slider would be vertical. Fine. Now I'll set the pen value, pen width. So I'll write self.slider.set in brackets self.pen width. Okay. Now self.slider.grid, row equals 0, column equals 1. Now I'll pack my frame. I'll write self.controls.pack and side equals left. Fine. Now here I'll declare my canvas. So self.c equals canvas, self.master. Where do I want my canvas? On the screen, on master. So self.master width equals 500 and height equals 400. Background color equals self.color underscore bg. It was there in the init function, so that is where from we pick the background color. Then I'll pack this canvas. I'll write self.c.pack, fill equals both, expand equals true. We've already worked with canvas and frames and labels a lot of times, so I hope you're getting what is going on. It's just the assembling of all that we have learned. It's nothing difficult. And now I need to get the menu. So I'll simply have this menu variable equals menu self.master and self.master.config menu equals menu, and I'll have my option menu to which I'll be adding all the options available. So option menu equals menu in brackets menu. It's in the menu of the main menu. Okay, I hope it is not confusing. Now to menu, I'll be adding the option menu variable. So how would I do that? I'll write menu dot add cascade, label equals menu, menu equals option menu. Now let's add the options to the option menu. So I'll write option menu dot add underscore command, label equals brush color, command equals self dot change underscore foreground. Similarly, for the other functions, I'll write option menu dot add command, label equals background color, command equals self dot change background. Then option menu dot add command, label equals clear canvas, command equals self dot clear. Again, option menu dot add command, label equals exit, command equals self dot master dot destroy. So we have four options: one for changing the pen color, the foreground one for the background changing color, one for clearing the canvas, and one for exiting the canvas. Okay, so we're good to go. Okay, but we need to call in this main class. So I'll write main and in brackets win. Fine. Now we're good to go, and let's run this. So I have my window and I can see this menu and pen width. So I'll start right away doodling on the screen, and I can see the line I've drawn, and I can change the brush color. I can pick any color. Let me pick this, and I have a different color pen now. Let me change the width once, so it has a better width now. The brush is thicker, and I can change the background color too. So here it is, the background color is different. Again, I can clear the canvas, everything is gone, and if I click on the exit option, the screen goes away. So the paint application is working pretty much fine. This was it for the program. Thank you.